An enormous problem that I see over and over again amongst people who are learning to trade is that after they have learned the basics, and then once they have maybe a basic understanding of their trading plan, they move straight on to trading. And what they do is they push training to one side. So they no longer train at all, and they simply try to execute their trading plan over and over and over again. This is a fundamental problem. If you are looking to become a consistent trader, and no matter how long you have been trading for, you should always be training. It is very, very important. Now, what I'm going to do over the next 3 weeks is on each video, each week, I am going to cover one of what I consider the absolute fundamental areas where you should be continually training. And then I'll give you some very simple, very easy to use examples of what you can do to train in these core areas. So if we look at it and compare it to something else, what I'm talking about is if we say use, let's say, a footballer. Now, when a footballer is learning the basics, so let's say you're a kid, you're learning the basics. This is the exact same as when you come to trading and you start learning how to read a candlestick chart, and you start learning about things like support and resistance and price action patterns. Now, you then advance a little bit more. Maybe you sign up for an amateur team, and this would be when you start to develop and use your trading plan. Now, what then happens for most traders is that this is where they stop. They get to the trading plan, they think, okay, this is all I need now. I understand how to read charts, I understand support and resistance, and I have my trading plan. And what they do is they just trade over and over and over again. Now, the problem is with trading that you can have some small success this way. And you see people running for a few weeks or a month or maybe even longer than that with profitability. However, they then give it all back to the markets. The broker happily takes it back off them. And what happens is they restart. They just kind of brush it aside and they say to themselves, okay, yeah, I slipped up, I'm going to start again, I'm going to be more disciplined, I'm going to do everything perfectly, and this time I'm going to become a consistently profitable trader. Now this, the equivalent of this, would be this footballer signing for the amateur team and then suddenly saying, okay, I've made it. I am no longer going to any of the training sessions. What I'm going to do instead is just turn up at the live games. Now, what do you think is going to happen? They are going to suffer. Well, certainly they're not going to improve. They are going to start getting left behind because they are no longer training, and they are never going to advance. This is exactly what I see happening over and over and over again amongst people who are learning to trade. You should always be training. I am still training. I do it frequently. I'm always recording things. I'm always looking to improve in certain areas because markets do change. The way you trade is going to change as your emotional response to trading changes also. So the first key area we are going to look at is support and resistance. For me, this is the most important thing that you can learn to master as a price action trader. Now, with support and resistance, what tends to happen is people learn the basics. You know, you look for the highs, you look for the lows, you look for the turning points in the market, you mark them up, and that is your support and resistance. And then what happens is people go on to the weekly time frame or the daily time frame, they plot their levels, and then that is it. During the trading day, they simply load up their charts, they look for when the market reaches their support and resistance, and they trade. That is it. There's nothing else to it. However, with support and resistance, you are basically learning to read the market. Now, the more experience you have of looking at the market, the better you are going to become at reading the market. So one person's support and resistance levels might be another person's very weak support and resistance levels. Also, if you are simply plotting levels and then never looking at it again, you are not using what the market has been recently doing to guide you. Okay, is this still a good level of support and resistance? By simply plotting your levels, you are also not learning to identify the very key levels. So the levels where potentially you're looking to take a little bit more risk because you know they are very high probability going to show some sort of reaction. Now, how do you build your support and resistance ability? Through training. What you want to do is you want to pick a number of charts. I would say at a minimum, you want 10 charts. And these are the charts you're going to be working on over and over and over again. It doesn't necessarily need to be charts that you are actually going to trade on. But especially if you find you can't spend lots of time at the charts, this becomes very important, because if you are working and then maybe you can only spend an hour or 2 hours at the charts every couple of days, you are spending very little time understanding market structure and what exactly is going on. I still do this. I do this once a month now on the charts that I trade, because I am used to it, because I do it over and over and over again. With the people who trade through Zone Trader and they are with the subscription, I set the charts up for them, but I also say you should be doing this for yourself. You should be plotting your own levels, comparing them against mine, and then seeing how they work out, because this builds up your confidence on plotting support and resistance and your abilities to spot very, very important levels. So with your 10 charts, or you can go more, you can go 15 charts, what you are looking to do is every day, or as often as you can, it doesn't take very long at all, you load up each of the charts. You look at the chart and you say, okay, for today, where is the next place on this chart where I would expect some sort of, medium reaction, some sort of small reaction? And you look at the chart and you just plot it into the chart. And then you look and you say, okay, where is the next area where I'm expecting a big reaction? And a big reaction can be whatever it is for you, depending on your trading plan. So I'm trading the 5-minute time frame. A big reaction to me is 20 points, 30 points on the 5-minute time frame. So it depends on your trading plan and what it is that you are looking for, how you define a big reaction. But pick out the areas where you expect some sort of reaction, maybe a little bit of a pause. Pick out where you expect the big reactions to be on every one of these charts. And then all you do is you check back and you look and you see if what you plotted, if what you guessed actually happened. Now, some days you may go onto the chart and you may say, I don't really see any very nearby levels. If that's the case, absolutely fine. Just mark in the next level that you can see, because what you are doing, what you are suggesting to yourself is that, well, there's not really any important levels here. So potentially the market is going to go on a little bit of a trend until it reaches the next level. Now, as a day trader, I also really don't mind which way the market is trending. I let the market tell me what is going to happen. Now, the reason that is important is because I'm picking out the medium reaction levels to the bullish side and to the bearish side. I'm picking out the key reaction levels to the bullish side and to the bearish side. And then if the market starts to break through those levels, so be it. I've got the key levels and I understand, okay, if it gets past this level, the next level is going to be around about here. And then I let the market tell me what is happening. So that's something else you can add into what you are doing. Now, talking through this, it sounds like there's a lot of things to do, but you're just loading up the charts. You're going on to a strong time frame. So the daily time frame, the weekly time frame, or the 4-hour time frame is what I would suggest. And you are picking out the closest level where you're going to have some sort of a reaction, maybe a pause. Then the next level where you're expecting a big reaction to the bullish and to the bearish. This should take you around about 5 minutes, 6 minutes per chart. Doesn't take a lot of time at all if this is something that you are looking to do where you are risking real money on the charts. This is a very small amount of training that is going to help you progress very, very quickly. Now, another thing you can do, as I mentioned, is after you've picked out the strong reaction points, you can say to yourself, okay, if the market breaks through this level, where is it likely then going to reach? So if it breaks through the key level you've picked out to the bullish side, where is the market then likely going to move to before it finds another reaction, another key reaction? Exact same thing to the bearish side. If it breaks through this key level where I'm expecting some sort of a strong reaction, where is the next level the market is going to move to? Because what that is then teaching you is, if my area does fail, then I can start to look for potential continuation trades to the next key level. And if it reaches the next key level, then I can start to look for, again, the potential reversal trades. And all you need to do is pick out those levels each day. It's unlikely the market's going to break through both of them on the same day, but if it does, that's absolutely fine. You just come back the next day, you set your levels again, then you come back and you check and you see how accurate what you have predicted actually has been. If you do this over and over again, I can promise you, your support and resistance is going to come on leaps and bounds. What I do now is I set the main support and resistance levels once a month. Sometimes I will adjust them after 2 weeks, depending on how the market is reacting. And then every day, I am doing this. I'm looking for, okay, where's the key level going to be? Where's the medium level going to be? If it breaks through this key level, where am I then expecting the market to move? And you can also start adding in things like, are there price squeezes, are there trend lines, whatever it may be, as you start to build up your knowledge base. But this is a core element of price action trading, and it's very important that you don't just learn the basics, you don't just get your trading plan and then you try and trade the trading plan without continuing to trade and continuing to build your knowledge base. Okay, so next week we will move on to the second very simple thing that you can start doing to help build your trading discipline, build your trading abilities. As always, I hope this was helpful. I'm James Orr, and thank you.